Have you ever just sat in your car before going into the grocery store or when you get home from a long day at work and you just sit there? It's like our universal pause that is either trying to avoid something, that overwhelm the next thing that's going to happen, or we're delaying something, like we don't want to have a conversation, we don't want to go into work. It's like a micro escape moment in which we're in like this little metal box of safe space. And this is a silent stress showing you that your nervous system is overloaded, that your nervous system is craving just a safe environment right now and it doesn't want to leave. So, the behavior of sitting in your car in a moderation is just sitting in your car. You might scroll on your phone, you might be listening to a song, you might be finishing a podcast. I'm talking those moments where it happens every place you're going. You get up and you go into work and you just sit in your car, right? You're delaying going in, you're delaying the next thing because your nervous system is saying, like, I just don't want to. You're sitting in that grocery parking lot, you're sitting in the school parking lot, just no more. So, the root cause of this is one, you're having a transition overload, right? Besides that, you have too much and you have an overwhelming feeling because your nervous system is basically zipping back and forth. You're adding transitions now, which means new environment, switch, activity, switch, activity, switch. And this is causing a lack of recovery time to recoup from what just happened before. Have you ever just had a bad day at work and then you had to go home and show up and smile and then there's chaos there and then you just repeat? So that lack of recovery space starts to build up and it starts to actually switch the nervous system into that survivorship mode of like, I just need to sit in a protective metal box right now and not do anything. And it's kind of an emotional weight of being on, right? It's on all the time that we're not giving ourselves enough space, enough intentional recovery time, moving from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, that your nervous system is now saying like, we're just going to sit in the driver's seat for a while. We're just going to sit here. And this fight or flight mode that we are in is gotten so chronic, that chronic stress, it's happened over and over and over, that firefighting mode, that your nervous system is starting to shut down into survivorship mode, into this I just need safety space. Now, we can turn in these car moments, this ultimate pause that we take throughout the day, into an intentional reset. So, say you have the same things that go on in the day: work, daycare drop off, school, kid activities at night, right? You're going to have transitions. Stress has been here, stress will continue to be. So we can turn these moments into an intentional reset to start to flip that energy. So this can be grounding music or music that just lifts you up, music that kind of calms you down. Maybe podcasters that you enjoy listening to or have a soothing voice, or even meditation apps. Can you take 2 minutes to do some of that work, that grounding music? And this is proving to your nervous system, I'm safe, everything is okay. And it kind of clicks it out of this fight or flight mode into, now let's go on to the next activity. So this grounding music is a good trigger to signal to your nervous system, we're okay, we're good, we're good. Another one to try is a sensory reset, which means that you can roll down the window and get that fresh air feeling, whether it's cold or hot or smells bad or smells good. What it's doing is it's getting you and clicking you out of this fight or flight state by giving you some sensory input that's different than before. So obviously, fresh air, clean smelling air is best because it's calming to the nervous system, but giving that different sensory input than just sitting in your stagnation metal car is going to be a switch of behavior for your nervous system to say, oh, okay, we're good, we're getting our sensory input that we need, now we can move on to the next activity. The other thing that you can try is box breathing, and I actually learned this from my son. So he has some sensory challenges, and so through OC therapy and speech therapy and some of the disability services that we have at school, he has learned to reset himself through box breathing. And box breathing is just a simple, couple minute practice that you can do to help your nervous system prove that it's safe, calm it down so you can transition on. And what it is you breathe in for a couple seconds, you hold it for a couple seconds, you let go a couple seconds, you breathe out, and then you hold a couple seconds, and then you breathe in, you hold, you breathe out, you hold, and repeat that over and over again. And depending on what you want to do, you can breathe in for a long period of time and hold it for a long time. You can just do a couple seconds, however you want to do it. But what it's proving to the nervous system is we're safe. We're getting oxygen. Do you feel that? We're not in survivorship mode because we can still breathe. And it's kind of a little trick they can do in a couple minutes by just sitting in your car. The other thing that you can do is reflect. And I would say if you're in a better state of mind and you're just had a chaotic day, this is a really good practice. If you're in the darkness of burnout, probably not a good practice to do because it's going to be harder to get to some of the positive things going on and all the things that you're doing because you're in such a negative state. So this is more for when you just need a quick reset. And this intentional reflection is going to meet the need that you need. So say I've been running around all day and I am sitting in my car and I just don't want to get out. A great question to ask yourself is, what does Kelly need right now? She probably needs water. She probably needs food. She probably just needs like some music, some grounding space. But really asking yourself, what is the need that needs to be met? And really reflecting on that. Because when you don't take a reflection moment, then this person's making me mad, and then this person's demanding me of things, and I need to do this and that and that and that and that. And you never actually meet the root cause need of why your system is in a little bit of a state right now. So really reflecting on what do you need will hone down, and then you can start to reroute and solve whatever need that needs to be met. A big change that you can do in your car is reduce the scrolling. So when we're sitting in the car and we're delaying or avoiding the next thing, the next transition, we usually get our phone, right? Social media, we'll do some emails, we'll do some texting, we'll play the Candy Crush. What you need right now is not that. That is a numbing activity because you're in a state right now, your body's craving some dopamine. It wants dopamine as quick as it can get it, but this is fake dopamine. So it's not super sustainable, and it's actually making you feel worse. So when you can just take a moment of space to do that grounding music, to do the breath work, to get some sensory load from that fresh air, you'll be better off in what happens next. Because you might feel very good for just a moment in time while you're numbing out on social media or scrolling, and it's not going to have a long-lasting effect throughout the day. You didn't actually fix the nervous system problem that you're in right now. The last thing that you can do, which actually goes with a lot of anxiety type of tools to get out of this angst state, is to move. Now you're probably thinking, I'm sitting in a car. Kelly, how do I move? Well, you can dance, you can stretch, you can do a bunch of snaps, right? You can clap and do all different hand type of things. You can do some air drums. Doing a physical activity snaps you out of fight or flight too, because it's telling the nervous system, like, what? I thought we were like in danger. I thought we were like running from something. And now you're like dancing and moving your hands and giving like pressure points on your joints and things like that. That type of physical activity is going to snap you out of an angst or an anxiety type of state. Now, sitting in your car in moderation, fine. Sitting in your car with your nervous system overloaded and you're avoiding or delaying something, that's feeding your chronic stress. But using some of these tools, it can be powerful to shift yourself out of the fight or flight during transitions and use it as a tool back to energy.